Cold email. Yeah, I know what you're probably thinking. Spam folders, right? The delete button's best friend. But what if I told you that's all wrong? That when it's done right, cold email is actually one of the most powerful, most direct tools you have for growing a business. Well, that's exactly what we're going to do today. We are going to crack the code and show you how to turn that cold outreach from something people ignore into a massive strategic advantage.
All right, here's our game plan. First up, we'll get on the same page about what cold email even is. Then we'll cover the really important stuff, the rules of engagement you just can't skip. After that, it's all about crafting that perfect message. We'll get into personalizing and automating your outreach. And finally, we'll wrap up with how to measure what actually matters so you know it's working. Let's do it. Okay, section 1. Let's start at the very beginning with the big picture. You know, the fundamental problem that pretty much every business runs into, and how cold email promises to be the solution. It really all comes down to this one question.
Seriously, think about this for a second. You've got this amazing product, right? Or a service that could literally change the game for someone. But how do you get in front of the people who need it when they have no idea who you are? That disconnect, that is the exact problem that a good cold email strategy is designed to fix.
So let's be super clear on what we're talking about here. A cold email is not spam. It's a strategic, professional introduction. It's an email you send to a potential customer who's never heard from you before with the goal of, well, introducing yourself and sparking some interest. The way I like to think about it is, it's not like blindly throwing flyers on cars in a parking lot. It's like doing your research, walking up to a specific office building, and knocking on the one door you know you can help. It's a digital door knock.
So why bother with this? Why is it so crucial? Well, for a few really big reasons. First, it's direct. You get to completely bypass all the noise and clutter of social media and go straight to their inbox. Second, it's scalable. I mean, you can efficiently reach out to hundreds, even thousands of potential customers. It's also an absolute workhorse for lead generation, just finding new people who might be interested. And maybe the best part? It's incredibly cost-effective. Compared to a lot of other marketing channels, this is a way to get huge results without breaking the bank.
All right, section 2. Now, before you get all excited and start blasting out emails, we need to pump the brakes for a second. We have to talk about the serious stuff, the rules, because navigating the legal landscape is absolutely key here. And I want to be really clear about this. This isn't the Wild West where anything goes. Sending cold emails is a powerful tool, but it comes with some very real legal and ethical rules. And ignoring them? That's not a good idea. We're talking potentially massive fines and maybe even worse, completely wrecking your brand's reputation. So yeah, you absolutely have to know the rules of the game. So here's a quick and dirty checklist to keep you safe. If you're emailing folks in the EU, you've got to comply with GDPR, which means having a legitimate interest. Up in Canada, their CASL rules are pretty strict and often require consent. Here in the US, it's the Can-Spam Act. Now, they all have their own little details, but the big ideas are the same across the board. You must have a super clear and easy way for people to opt out. You have to include your physical address. And you need to be transparent. It's not just about following the law, it's about basic respect for the person you're emailing.
Okay, section 3. We've got the legal stuff covered. Now we can get to the fun part, actually crafting the perfect message. How do you write an email that doesn't just get opened, but that actually gets someone to hit reply? Let's get into it.
Everything, and I mean everything, starts with your subject line. This is your first impression, so you can't blow it with something generic. A killer subject line does two things. It's personalized and it's focused on their problem. It basically screams, hey, I wrote this for you, and I think I know about a problem you're trying to solve. It immediately sparks curiosity because it hints at a solution. Okay, let's look at the body of the email itself. This is a great template. See how it starts? Personalization right off the bat. Their name, their company. That proves you didn't just pull their name from a random list. Then, boom, it pivots directly to a specific problem you think they have. And that last part, the call to action, it's not some huge commitment, a quick call. It's simple, it's low pressure, it makes saying yes feel really easy. So, what's the secret sauce here? What makes an email like this actually work? It's really these 3 things. 1, it's personalized. It's about them. 2, it's problem-focused. You're talking about their pain points. And 3, it gives them a super clear, super simple next step. You do those 3 things, and that's how you turn a cold email into a warm conversation. All right, section 4. Look, writing one perfect email is awesome. But the real power, the real game changer, is when you can do this at scale, but without losing that critical personal touch. So how do you do that? How do you scale this smartly? I love this comparison because it just lays it all out so clearly. On the left, you've got Dear Sir or Madam. You know where that's going. Straight to the trash. It's basically an admission that you have no idea who you're talking to. But on the right, Hi, John. I saw your recent post on LinkedIn. See the difference? That one line shows you did like 30 seconds of research. It creates an instant connection, and frankly, it earns you the right to their attention. So what does the system actually look like in practice? It's a pretty straightforward 5-step workflow. Step 1, you build a solid list of people to contact. Step 2, you break that list down into smaller, targeted groups. This is segmentation. Step 3 is where you write your personalized email templates for each of those groups. Step 4, you schedule and send them out. And step 5, and this is so important, you analyze your results to figure out what worked and what didn't. And that brings us to our last section, which honestly might be the most important one of all. It's all about measuring what matters. Because sending a bunch of emails is fine, but if you don't know if they're actually working, what's the point? This is about turning your data into smart decisions. The good news is you don't need to get lost in a sea of data. You really just need to focus on a few key metrics that tell you the whole story. We're talking about your open rate, your click-through rate, and your conversion rate. Those 3 numbers right there give you a really clear picture of how your campaign is doing. And this is the best way to think about it. Each metric tells you something specific. If your open rate is high, congratulations, your subject line did its job. If your click-through rate is good, that means the message itself, the body of the email, was engaging. Your conversion rate tells you if your actual offer and landing page are working. And if you see a high bounce rate, that's just a red flag telling you your email list is old and needs a good cleaning. So you've got the numbers. You know your open rate, your click-through rate. Now what? The real question is, how do you actually use that information to make your next campaign even better? How do you improve these numbers? Well, here are the big strategies. You've got to be A/B testing. Pit one subject line against another and see which one wins. You need to keep segmenting your audience into smaller, more targeted groups. Personalization is key. Always be looking for ways to tailor the content more. You can even experiment with timing. Maybe sending on a Wednesday at 10 a.m. works better than a Monday afternoon. But above all, you have to make sure every single email you send is genuinely relevant and provides real value. That's how you get better. So here's what I want you to take away from all this. Cold email isn't just some random tactic. It's a real skill. And when you master the rules, the writing, and the data, it becomes this predictable engine for growing your business. Just think about it. Your next great customer, your next big partner, they could be sitting there right now just one perfectly written email away. So the only question left is, are you ready to write it?